Yeah, we're laughing.
We are laughing.
Everybody.
Oh, you have no idea what goes into just getting these things to sit on the right way so we can both be peaceful at the same time.
And the lights and everything. Oh my goodness gracious. Super funny. Hi Katie. Hey everybody.
Hey, peace.
Peace. Welcome to the Real Life Podcast. Hey, you're so we've been fiddling trying to get our sweaters on. Your collar is still not quite right there. Do you see it on the one side?
You know what else I figured out? I figured this out, and this is really a good tip for everyone out there. We are so used to this part of ourselves looking beautiful online, right? We forget that there's a back. And so I oftentimes will have like a bird's nest in the back of my head and I forget because I don't care. And then I go to my office with my clients and I wonder how many clients have seen the back of my head and gone, oh my God, what is wrong with her?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, whatever. So
Anyway, we do the best we can.
yeah, peace, everybody. So we've got some cool news. Katie and I signed for a book deal, a big book deal with HCI called, go ahead, Katie, talk all about it. The Peace Guidebook.
Peace Guidebook. Yes, we decided that we've wanted to be peacemakers our whole lives, both of us. We have stories that we want to tell, and we have people that we've encountered that have incredible peacemaking tools and tips and strategies. And so we're putting this very practical, very inspiring book together in this next year with HCI Publishing, and I could not be more excited.
I see. Okay, hang on. Before we might have to do this over again. We're lagging. Do you see us lagging? No, you don't see us lagging at all. Okay, keep going. My video on you keeps stopping. Is my video stopping? No. Okay, we'll keep going. I can't tell. So, hi everybody. I'm gonna keep that in. Even I'm not gonna edit that out. But yeah, no, I am so excited. It's the third in the series. So you've got Katie wrote Uplifting. Then we've got the Change Guidebook, the Success Guidebook, the Peace Guidebook, and then Katie and I wrote Percolate together. So we just got a buffet of books, don't we, Katie?
We really do. We just can't say enough. And we learn and we are lifelong learners and we want to engage other people in being lifelong learners and being their best selves.
Yeah.
And being peaceful is not just being without violence. Being peaceful is how we live our lives every single day.
So it's called the Peace Guidebook, How to Cultivate Hope, Healing, and Harmony for the Good of Humankind.
And that is our mission. Yay. And we're wearing these sweaters to announce that we want everybody to commit with us. We want people to write in and tell us their stories of peace. And we want to have everyone, we're looking for 1 million people to commit to peaceful living.
And you can go to besteveryou.com/Peace Guidebook, and you can actually log in something that's bringing you peace or joy on that actual page. It's pretty cool. You just log it right in, click send, and it will appear on the page. So I love that. So we're looking for 1 million people to join us to percolate peace and you know all the things that go with peace. Just make the world a more peaceful place. Katie, we were talking today a lot about, actually the past few days, about peace. And I think one thing that we've been talking about a lot is empty nesting. Yeah.
Yes.
So we both decided and agreed that there's nothing more peaceful, but not. It's just not. There's something very unpeaceful about empty nesting, but on the same token, you want your children to, you know, fly little birdies fly and be great and all that they do. But it's very strange. I know 6 years ago we had our last one leave the nest, and it left me spiraling. I'm like, wow, the laundry is gone. The food bill is gone. The cooking is gone. That, you know, there were my people to talk to, the kid, you know, just everything is different. And I kept thinking, wow, this would really be awful if there wasn't a phone.
I know. Can you imagine?
No,
Yes.
I can't actually.
Can't either. Our mothers and fathers must have gone through so much with, I mean, they didn't have they had phones, but they didn't have cell phones. So they couldn't always find us or catch us or
Or see
talk to
us.
us or see us. No, they could never see us. And so I can only imagine. And then you think about even before that, when they didn't have, when people are at war or people are beyond where they couldn't communicate before we had internet and we had the ability. I can't even imagine how painful it was for, I mean, talking about peace today on Martin Luther King's birthday. Look at our history of all the mothers and fathers who've sent their kids off to war and not had any contact with them for months and months and months and months and months. And sometimes war is one kind of war, sometimes war is another kind of war, a war of civility, war of all kinds of things happen in the world that put us in a sense of, where's my kid?
Yeah.
Where's my kid? I want to know where my kid is right now. I mean, parents now are, where's my kid if there's a school shooting? Where's my kid if there's an earthquake? Where's my kid? So yeah, it's really weird when your kid leaves.
Yeah.
It
Yes,
really
it is.
is.
Yeah. The one thing I can tell you though, in the sense of them going off to college or off to a job they've got or whatever, is the wonderful thing about it is, generally speaking, they do come back and visit and things like that. I know, as awful as COVID was, we had a moment in time that we wouldn't have otherwise had, where we had all the kids under one roof for an extended period of time, which would have never happened. So I think sometimes you have to really find the joy and blessing in misery.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And yeah, it's very strange though. I don't know about you. Okay, Quaid, bless your heart, but wow, your room's a mess and you left. And no recognition of it at all. Like, he's like, it's fine. What do you mean? I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. I have to go clean this, and Dad has to go clean this with me, and we got to do some cleaning. And then you go, what did we say earlier? Space and grace, space and grace.
Space and grace. Yep, yep. Yeah, I know. Oh no, Callie left a ridiculous mess, and my husband and I were in the garage clearing it out on Saturday, and just really practicing that grace and space and grace and space and just peace, and sending her peaceful messages when we were really like going, why are we doing this? And yeah, and but
Yeah.
isn't that parenting? Don't we do that all the way through at different times when they do something and we have to pick our battles? What's going to lift them up? Is it going to lift them up if we say something, or do we just suck it up? And we suck it up and we suck it up to their learning and we put it aside and we say, someday they'll have their own kids and they'll go, I did that. Maybe or maybe not, we won't be around, but maybe it'll be nice to see it or hear it. But if not, that's not why you parent. You parent to lift your kids up.
Yeah, yep. Fly little birdie fly. So yeah, we were good. We're just like whatever. But yeah, we have had them all back and forth for the past 6 years, coming and going, jobs, PhD, this, that, another thing. And so I have nothing but that revolving door motion going on. And it's fun, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And it actually brings a little bit of joy now to me to be like, I'll do your laundry. Like, it gives me something to do. It's kind of cute.
It's strange because the chaos when they're with you is always stressful, and you're doing this, that, and the other, and you're constantly changing your schedule, and I got to be where, you got to do what? Why didn't you tell me? How many times do we say that as parents? And then all of a sudden, you miss the chaos.
Uh-huh.
You've got the peace, and you're like, well, isn't that what I always wanted? And that's what I tried to create but never could, and now I've got it and I'm like miserable. So it's so confusing, and yet it's awesome. Yes, you wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. You want your child to be happy. I think one of the sayings that I've been repeating over and over that is one of my favorites, and I can't remember where I got this from, but loving someone is wanting them to be happy more than you want them to be with you. And I really believe that, and I really trust that. And so I want her to be happy more than I want her to be here. and she wouldn't be happy here. And so that's what I hold on to, is lifting her up, is wanting her to be happy.
Yeah, and if you are happy here, I'm happy with you here too.
Yeah,
On.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, you do need the fly, little birdie fly, but yeah, I do love them here, and we have a lot of fun, and it's cool because the games come back out, or the four brothers go disc golfing, or they go to Chipotle, or whatever it is. So there's a camaraderie that's pretty fun, but I do not miss the moments like we would go into the airport and I would have four car seats, four strollers, four bags, six bags, whatever, just the chaos of that. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of happy everybody can carry their own stuff, because I do remember a few times being in the airport with huge carts just piled high, and people, airport guys going, "Do you need help?" I'm like, "Yes, we do." And then you
Can't
they're good
imagine.
on the airplane and whatever. So
I cannot imagine. I only had one, and I was always crazy with, just because you've always got to have a stroller and a knapsack. And when we brought her back from China, oh my God, people must have just laughed hysterically at these two brand new parents with this toddler in, and we did not know what we were doing. She was like on a leash because we couldn't lose her because she was running all over the place, and we were trying. My God, I can only imagine what some of the people thought of us when they saw us come through the airport.
pretty hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, we ours, if you're watching, we have five kids between us, and mine are each 2 years apart. So back me up at an airport and we were like 2, 4, 6, 8, newborn 2, 4, 6, kind of thing. Always 2 years apart. One of the best vacations we took was when they were all a little bit older. I think it might have been 6, 8, 10, 12, or 8, 10, 12, 14, somewhere around there. We took them back to California skiing for 10 days, and what a complete blast that was. And everybody could kind of hold their own, and they were responsible for their own bag, and that was a little bit more fun and joy. But we just took a trip. Speaking of trips like that, my phone is ringing. Sorry, I brought my phone in here because we need it for something that we're going to do. But we took a trip over Christmas to New Jersey, and we rented a Chrysler Pacifica, and we shoved everybody in the van and drove to New Jersey for 3 days. And what a complete blast that was, too.
Must have been fun. That must have been really fun. Yeah, when you have a one, you have an only, you bring friends, but it's the three of us, and so we're extremely close. And so it's bizarre for the three of us to not be together doing stuff. So we're all kind of empty nesting. She is as well. She's struggling sometimes with, I want to tell mom and dad this, but they're not here. But I think, frankly, the honest truth is she misses her cats way more than us.
Yeah, we get that too. How are the dogs doing? We get a lot of "look what I cooked" pictures.
Yes,
Look what I made.
yes, yes. It's like, look at me, I'm adulting.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
it's really cool. It
yeah.
really, really
We've
is.
got
Yeah.
we have one that we have one who just left. The youngest just left he got a job in the Rochester, New York area where he went to school, and he's applying for his PhD and got a job at the University of Rochester and the microbiology labs and all this stuff. And so he got an apartment, and it's all like, "Look what I cooked, look what I did, look what I made." So it's
It's
cute.
really rewarding to see
Yeah,
that they do in fact grow up.
yeah.
I can't, I mean, I'm looking forward to the coming back part, but they have to fly for a while without doing that. And the other thing I've learned from all of this and from being a therapist and hearing this from others is they all do it differently. They all need to leave in their own way, and they come back when they're ready, and they communicate when they need to, and it's okay. It's got to be their way. It's got to be their unique way, and we have to stay out of their way.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
That's
We
that's
always say, we might not be smarter than you, but we've got a little more mileage here and there. And so it's nice when they listen to certain things.
right. Yeah, my father used to make the funniest comments. My mother would start giving me like really stupid practical things that anybody would know, like, are you calling the dentist? Or I was 30 something, right? And my father would go, are you eating well? Are you? And he would just go through this litany of, are you brushing your teeth, Katie? Are you doing this? Are you doing, and my mother would go, Robert, and it would make a joke about it. But he was constantly making fun of her because, she never stopped being a mom.
Yeah,
She was 83, still being a mom.
yeah. Good luck on that, because it is what we do, and we are. So
Exactly.
we had today is an interesting day overall, and I don't know when this is actually going to air, so we're going to leave it at that. It might air tomorrow. I'm not sure, but we wanted to remind everybody about values
Yes.
and kind of go there. I know it's a little jumpy from empty nesting to values, but it'll all tie together, I promise you.
It does, because one of the things that lets you let go of your child is, have you instilled the values? And you have to believe that. You have to trust and believe that you've instilled your values and that that's what you need to leave them with, is what's most important. And today it's Martin Luther King's birthday, and so a lot of people are really focusing on values, on what's most important to me, to my family, to my organization, to my community. And our peace message today is all about, nobody can take your values away from you. Nobody. You can believe whatever you choose to believe, and you can operate in your household however you want to operate. You can put those values on your organizations. Your community can love each other the way that you want to love each other. You can stand up for love no matter what. And I think that that's what Martin Luther King was saying. And that's what he wanted all of us to understand, is no one can ever take away your beliefs.
Yeah.
Ever.
So on the Best Ever You network, we've got some kind of core values that we've always talked about and so forth. And so I thought we'd run through those a little bit. There's 10 of them. Is that okay? You want to go through all 10? Or of course, there's the 6 principles, but I think we'll leave those alone for now and just go over to some of the values. Authenticity encourages individuals to embrace their true selves and to live in alignment with their true lives. That's a huge, huge thing, authenticity.
Well, and it changes all the time. And, I was listening to a podcast today where they talk about their core values. It's a group called Founders Live. And what their core value is, that they not only live authentically, but they live authentically respectfully. So they practice respectful authenticity. So we do as well. We want you to respect yourself and others. And being your authentic self is lifting yourself up and lifting up others.
Yeah. The second one is gratitude, rooting in gratitude, that attitude of thankfulness, the appreciation for everything. I know in my book, I've got the gratitude flip, where you turn everything from, I have to do that, to I get to do that. It changes the scope and perspective of everything with gratitude. Gratitude's a huge one for me. I love gratitude.
I do too. And it automatically lifts your spirit when you think gratefully. And I always say, don't do what you should do what you choose to do. Yes.
Yep,
And be grateful. Yes.
gratitude's a huge one, and that can be a gratitude practice where you write stuff down. It can be things you say to yourself, whatever it is. One of the things that I think gratitude on autopilot is where I love to sort of bring people, if they practice enough, where it just is part of who you are. But sometimes it's hard to get there without a lot of practice. And sometimes I like to think about, like, from my own point of view, I love to think about just gratitude for breath, gratitude for eyesight, gratitude for things that you might otherwise just breeze by and take for granted.
There was somebody who's suffered the loss of their home from the fire. It was a famous person I heard yesterday. And he talked about that he's lost everything physically, but what he still has is an attitude of gratitude. And he said he's practicing compassion, gratitude, and inner peace. And I really loved what he said. And can you imagine, after losing everything, to still be able to do that? And I think gratitude is something we all need to espouse all the time.
It's
Yes.
a game changer, and it can diffuse anger. I mean, it diffuses so many things if you can just remember it in those moments. I know when my dad was real sick, I struggled with this one. Know, he would say things like, who did I piss off, or what did I do, and things like that. I'm like, let's hold, and I would always say, like what we say, space and grace for gratitude, and the faith and things like that, and getting through these moments in a way that's different than going negative. Let's
Right.
let's
Right.
let's abandon the negative. I know we can go there and stuff, but let's go over here and cling. Even if you need to cling to it, gratitude, faith, hope, things like that, find something. And we would make that a practice because things would get so miserable. My mom and I would be like, okay, what are we going to cling to today? We're going to
Right.
cling to our hair curled. I mean, it could even be something silly like, we're in there in the ICU and be like, okay, well, we're having a good hair day, or just something silly, just to add some humor even to the just desperate situations.
Was in assisted living and she was starting to become really demented, I would say, Mom, look at that bird. Look at that beautiful bird. And I must have said it 50 times because she would forget. And I'd say, okay, Mom, look at the bird again. Look at the bird, look at the bird, look at the bird. Because she'd forget. She'd already looked at the bird. But it was definitely that shift from her, okay, and it only takes your brain a few seconds to shift. If you choose to a different thought.
Yeah, and eventually, as you choose enough, you tend to just go there instead of here.
You practice it.
Yeah, you
Right.
practice. So, all right. The third one's resilience, strength, courage, determination. Everything that helps you face adversity is can be really hard too. You can forget how resilient you are.
And people need to understand that resilience is something all of us have the capacity for, but not all of us can do it without. We all have to learn how to get our resilience skills and to practice resilience. And people have this really, somewhere this myth started that children are naturally resilient. They aren't. They have to be taught. We all have to be taught. We have the opportunity, but we have to practice it. We can't just be lazy and think it's just gonna snap in. We got to practice.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
that one for me too, because I have to really remember resilience and the power of me and things like that. It somehow it seems to tie into confidence. Sometimes for me, I just have to really remember I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, because otherwise sometimes you go over, depending on what it is too, it can bring you into fear, anxiety, when you don't feel like you can handle the situation.
Well, empty nesting. How many times have we said to our kid, you've got this, you've got this, you've got this. We've given you those skills, we've given you those talents, you've got this. Go for it. And I think we all need that you've got this all the time.
Yeah. Yep. And I think with resilience too comes the space and grace to fail too, don't you?
Absolutely.
You need to make mistakes or you don't learn. And that's hard because you definitely want to earplugs and bubble wrap your kids and send them out. And it's like, hang on, you got to learn. Yeah.
Yep. And I don't even use the word failure. I learn it. I use it, you got to go and things have to not go your way and you've got to learn how to rise up from it and change and what do you need to do to make it better?
Yep. Yeah, that's a tricky word. I agree. I probably shouldn't have said that because that failure is such a heavy word. It
Yeah, it
really
is.
is, isn't
It
it? It's
is.
like, ooh,
Failure, shame,
those are his. Yeah. The
those
other
are
one, yeah,
words.
the other big yuck for me is the word obviously. I hate that word. I don't know why. It sounds like so obviously, every time I hear it, it sounds entitled and funky
Yeah,
and like, obviously.
it's pejorative.
Yeah. So
It's
yeah, I
pejorative. Yeah,
apologize on my failure word, but yeah,
that's
yeah,
all right.
learning mode. Yeah, no, I go there sometimes though. It's like, but you got to remember to space and grace for all the other things. So talk about empowerment because empowerment's sort of a buzzword, and I'm not sure all of us exactly know what empowerment means.
Well,
It's
for
different than
me,
entitled.
Totally different. Empowerment means that I see in you potential, and I see empowerment in potential in everyone. I do live with empowerment. Turquoise is the color of empowerment. That jewel represents empowerment. Well, I have turquoise everywhere in my life. It's like my ring, my wedding ring is turquoise. So empowerment means I see the light in you and the potential in you to be better, a better you. Not a better idea that I have for you, but your idea for you. And I'm going to lend you my power to lift yourself up to that place. That's empowerment. And we do it for ourselves and we do it for others. It's lifting someone up to another level of their potential as they identify it, not you. You know, with our kids, we see their potential and they may be like, I don't like that. I don't want to do that. You know, and it's like, listen to them. Don't lift them up to be the best ball player if they hate baseball.
Right. Yeah, that'd be silly, wouldn't it? But I have a giggle on my face because I am having a hot flash in the sweater. I'm like itching and going, oh my God, the sweater.
That's so
Under the
real.
lights, I'm dying.
That's so real. I went to
Wow.
Callie's kindergarten orientation with hot flashes. That was not fun. And this really young woman who I don't remember how young she was, but I have never felt so old in my life. And I'm sitting there squirming, going, all right, there's something really wrong with this picture. I'm having hot flashes and my daughter's going into kindergarten. No, that doesn't quite compute, but you
Super
know,
funny. Yeah. Yeah,
it is.
50-year-old. I'm like, our sweaters are funny too, because like the
They,
thing is supposed to be
yeah,
all the way. I just
they don't fit right. And so they're like,
I can't figure out if I feel like I look like I'm 40 pounds heavier than
no,
I
seriously.
actually am, and now I'm having hot flashes.
My chest has grown 3 sizes from this
So,
sweater.
peace,
Anyway,
baby.
yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so that was my sidetrack. Sorry. Okay, so collaboration. This is a huge one, right? Oh my gosh, teamwork. I think teamwork's the dream work. Community. It all is a shared vision, collective. You and I have said for years. Percolate I, percolate me, percolate us, percolate we. That is like the mantra of percolate. And then if you do that, you do what? You percolate peace. Yay. Yeah.
Exactly. And our whole reason for writing this book and creating this whole movement is it starts with us. It starts with us every single day choosing how we're going to live our lives. And then that radiates out to our kids, from our kids out to their friends to our community, to our neighbors. And eventually, yeah, the world's going to change, but not until all of us choose peace.
Beautiful. Okay. Compassion. I'm going to leave that one to you. That's your wheelhouse.
Compassion is you respond versus react to another human being in a way that is in their best interest. That you get beyond your reactivity, which is anger, sadness, frustration, any kind of toxic emotion, to this place that says, no matter what, I want you to feel my love and support.
Okay.
That's compassion.
I have a question for you. Do me a favor, and you can pass on this if you want to. Apply that to political division.
Yeah, sure.
Can you do that?
Sure. We had a story today of someone who this is just a heart-wrenching story where someone went to extremism and anti another group. Well, whenever someone goes to an anti place, there's no compassion. There's no allowance for compassion. You can't be anti anything and be compassionate because you're not hearing anything from the other. You're otherizing people. You're otherizing. And this was an otherizing between a parent and a child. And it broke my heart. But one member of that duo refused to see anything but hate, otherizing, and it divided this relationship and fractured it irreparably until the person died. And that really broke my heart because when you go to any extreme in anything, there is absolutely no room for compassion. But if you go to a middle ground where you say, I believe this, you believe this, where's our middle ground? That's where compassion meets. That's where peace happens. Compromise.
Beautiful.
Otherizing, extremism, doesn't work. Middle of the road is where peace resides. So all of us need to hold the middle.
Love it. Could almost end on that, but we're going to keep going. Inspiration. I always think that it can be very tricky to motivate people. I think it can be easier to inspire people. Motivation is a little bit internal, a lot of it internal, and so inspiring people to pursue their goals and dreams and so forth is different than you actually motivating somebody. You can help people discover their motivation, but I don't know if I hate the word I can't, but it's pretty tricky to actually motivate. You have to really self-start.
Well, inspiring to me is the stories
Yeah.
of others who have accomplished what we want to accomplish but have no idea how to do. So we become inspired by them to say, oh, wow, I see enough of me in them that I can do what they did, but my way.
And that jump starts the motivation, right?
Jump starts them, it becomes your why. It becomes your why. And without a why, we don't change.
Yeah. So I love inspiration. It's sometimes tricky to find what inspires you. You have to kind of sift.
Well, I think when you're inspired, you know it. You, like when I wrote my book, Uplifting, I told inspiring stories, and I had to tell those stories because they changed my life so much that I just absolutely could not go out of this world without having told those stories. So inspiring moments, you want to share them.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt that same way with Cam's baseball story, Coach T, everybody at Georgetown baseball having that amazing, record setting year. And then also with like Jesse Cole with the Savannah Bananas. I saw what he was doing and how his motto was fans first, and how he would sit in the stadium with Jackson Olsen until they had signed every autograph. So different of an attitude than the MLB sometimes that you see where, it's just like, I'm too busy, I'm this, I'm that, I'm whatever it is. But the way the Savannah Bananas approach everything is so different, and that inspires me. So yeah, I agree with you so much that those are the stories you're trying to share with others so that they become inspired and motivated and all that stuff. So yeah, cool.
And the Peace Guidebook, when we're picking the stories that we're going to include that other people are writing, both of us are having the same sensation. When the story comes through, we're like, oh, that's it. Yes, we have to have this. We have to have this. So that's inspiration.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're out there and listening and you want to apply to contribute to our book, the Peace Guidebook, and share your story, please send us an email. You can email Elizabeth@besteveryou.com, and we would be happy to consider you as a contributor in the book for sure. Yeah, because we're on the lookout for great stories from people that want to be in the book, and we're finding them, and it's so fun. We call this like our little homework phase.
Really fun. It's like when they come along, we're like, oh,
Yeah.
and we both have the same response. It's really been wonderful.
Yeah, but a lot of times people say books are so hard to write, and I think when it's a little bit more of a seamless process and not so hard to write, you can tell people are going to end up ultimately reading the book. It's a funky thing. It's like, okay, this isn't it's writing itself kind of when we have
when
stories.
we're inspired, we're sending out energetically inspiration to others, and I think both of you and I, our books are all about inspiring others.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to talk about growth. Sometimes people have a closed mindset, sometimes people have a growth mindset. It's tricky, the mindsets and you want to have that success in all areas of your life, and growth can be so awkward because in order to do something that you've dreamed of doing or whatever, you've got to go into this place and space where there might not be grace. And you need to have grace and space for yourself, because guess what, it's so unknown. It's unbelievable, isn't it? And then you look back and you go, oh, I did that. Okay, heart hug, go from here to here. And it's going to be okay. But without the hugs to yourself, the heart-based thinking, going from here to here, and all the things that we love, you and I love, growth can be really super super duper scary. You I remember a long time ago you taught me the hamster wheel, and I'm like, I have a hamster upstairs. Wait a minute. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah. That sometimes people get on a hamster wheel and they have no idea what they need to do to get off. They have no idea what needs to grow or change. And both of us in our books and in everything we do, we try to give people prompting questions to help you understand you and where you need to go next because of what you want and how you want to live your life. And that's what Best Over You is all about. It's what all of our writing is about. It's what this podcast is about. So yes, I think that growth is what you define as your next step to be a better you.
Yeah. So, trick question, if anybody can answer this question, if you pick up a copy of Percolate and you type in the comments the name of my hamster, we will send you it's in the book. We will send you a signed copy of Percolate by both me and Katie, or you can send us your book and we'll sign it or whatever. But if you can tell me the name of my hamster, what did the boys name the hamster? Is the big trivia question. It's in there. Yeah, and that's all we got, right, Katie, for the prizes. You get a signed copy of the book.
I can't remember the name of the hamster either, so.
I can't even say it now. I'll text it to
Oh,
you
no.
when we're done. Yeah, the famous actress. But no, what we'll do is what do you think if somebody typed in, if somebody actually listens to this and types in the answer to that, we could actually send them a book bundle. Like we'll pick a winner.
Yeah, let's do
We'll
that.
a book bundle. Yeah,
I'll send you a book bundle of all our books.
of all
Okay,
our books. Okay,
that sounds good.
because that's a big ask to go searching in the book for the hamster's name. But if you do it, the prize, we'll draw a winner. Okay, and then number 9 is, I know we're going on and on here, but it's kind of fun. Purpose. I've been harping on this a little bit, actually a lot of bit, because it's your why. And I read the book Man's Search for Meaning that book has always felt a little bit daunting to me, and I have not picked it up thus far, and I finally read it. It has always felt like, wow, that's going to be too deep. I just like don't even want to go there kind of thing with that book. And I read it, I'm like it's everything that we teach.
And it
Like
was one of the
John.
first
Yeah.
books I ever read about purpose. And it really inspired me to have my purpose of lifting other people up to their potential. That's part of where I got it.
Yeah.
Because in the most difficult imaginable of human circumstances, compassionate kindness motivated this individual, Viktor Frankl, to get through. And I remember reading it as in high school, I think it must have been, and saying, wow, if he can do that in these circumstances, just imagine what I could do in my circumstances to spread and be more compassionate. And so I just think it is talk about inspiring. And it reminds us of, I can't remember, what word are we on?
We're on purpose.
Purpose. Purpose is, to me, when your skills, gifts, and talents align with your energy and your actions to build someone else up. And I think that's what he does in this book. He takes every ounce of who he was and is, and he puts it all together in these remarkable stories of incredible suffering. And he rises out of the suffering to give to another. And from that purpose, he survives, and he becomes who he was, Viktor Frankl.
In his experiences, too, is also an observer of what was happening around him in all moments. And he would almost like evaluate how to carry on. And he would see the light dim in others who had lost their purpose and their reason for living. And he would take note and be like, those are the people who may not make it through. And he would factor in luck and this and that and so forth. But at the root of it, he would talk, I think anyway, he talked a lot about your attitude in a way, your attitude and how you approach misery.
And how you approach living.
Yeah.
That if you aren't approaching living with gratitude and helping someone else, you're not living.
Yeah.
And that was really, he watched people in the most unhumane or inhumane situation, and he found a way to discover light in this horrible,
Horrible.
horrible darkness. And it's such a lesson for all of us. You know, division, hey, talk about place for division. One of the stories I'm most excited about in our Peace Guidebook is someone who's suffering in the midst of war right now and who finds peace and patience. And how do you find peace and patience in the midst of war when your country's in war? And so I just think that all of us can read these stories and find our own way of providing support to the world.
That's a really good book. You need to write that. Find your way. I'm writing that down. Hang on just a minute. Find a way of supporting the world. I love that.
With compassion, caring, light, purpose, joy.
All of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just simply lift somebody up today, my mom used to say that. Just, Katie, just lift somebody else up today.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to have this thing on my Facebook. It would say, like, here, take one. And it was like joy, love, purpose, da, 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 da,
Yeah.
like on you put on a poster board and it's got a phone number, take one or whatever. But it was all these words. So I'll find that again and post that. It was always kind of nice. So, but purpose, that's a big one. And then our last one, of course, is peace. A favorite word. We love to percolate peace and harmony and help people. I loved the way, as we sat down to write this book, I love the way you explained this. And that's, I'm going to just paraphrase and then you can take it. But it was the inner peace that percolates outwardly, respectfully and compassionately and so forth. And if you can't find the inner peace, we're going to show you how and guide you. We're going to help you, guide you to find inner peace.
Practical tools, how you communicate, your relationships, what message are you sending to yourself and others? That's all about your inner peace. Your mental health is all about your inner peace. You can have a mental illness and still have inner peace. And it's really important that everyone understand that the potential for peace starts with them.
Yeah, it's a daunting topic for sure. I know I've had moments when we're writing this book where I'll text you like, I'm a little overwhelmed that we're writing this because it feels like a little bit of a world peace thing. And you bring it just home and you're like, well, our neighbors are fighting over the shrub in between their houses that somebody took out. And they're fighting, like, fighting about it. And it's like, how do you dare think about something such as world peace when we can't even get along about, a shrub that's in the middle of our two houses? And it's like, wow.
One of the things that I noticed is when our daughter was observing that with a neighbor at another time, not here, and our daughter came to us and said, "Why are they fighting, Mommy?" And I went, "Oh my God, I hate that you're knowing this and that you're learning this." And I said, "Well, Callie, it's because they're not compromising." And so we taught her compromise about that. And peace is compromise. Peace is wanting to be happy more than you want to be right.
I love that. We have a shared, okay, so between our house and the house next door on this side, we all get along on our area right here. We have a huge area that is common to both houses that we've created. It's a huge community garden. And we invited everybody to walk through it. We have a path from the street sidewalk in, and you can do a loop, and everybody can enjoy the garden that Peter has built, along with Bruce helped and stuff to build the rock path and everything. And it's also a water drainage space and all sorts of stuff. So, but yeah, it's a compromise. It's like, okay,
Compromise. It's compromise. It's wanting to be happy more than you want, and wanting them to be happy more than you want to be right.
yeah. And I would say to Peter, because I grew up with, this is my property, the kind of thing, and I'm like, okay, we're doing this joint area. If we don't live here at some point and they don't live here at some point, do you think the future people will respect this space? And he goes, that's really not up to me to decide. I certainly hope so. I hope they get the message. I can't guarantee they will. They might put up a fence. I have no idea. But the message is pretty darn clear. This is a community space to enjoy, and it's on both our properties, and come on in.
And now, it's for now. And a lot of us forget that we have these wonderful things that we have the opportunity to be peaceful right now. Be peaceful. Practice peace every day as much as you can. And that's what we're asking people to do in the Percolate Peace Project, is do the best you can every day to promote and practice peace. And we want families, we want kids. I'm going to go to a concert that's a peace concert of kids, and I'm hoping to videotape and bring some of it to our website. But we want kids to learn compromise, peaceful compromise, and that they don't have to be right.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
don't have
and I just want to just almost plead with everybody to come on in and join with us.
to,
For
please.
real, it's a momentum building. You can borrow our sweaters even. I've said to Katie, we need to have a traveling sweater, and she's like, I don't know if people will do that. I'm like, they might. I'm like, if you want to borrow my sweater and take a picture in it, you may. I don't know. Probably won't happen, but but do something that demonstrates some type of peace. Take a picture, hashtag it Peace Guidebook, go on to besteveryou.com/Peace Guidebook, log it in, whatever it is, so we can start to see that. And I don't think the book is going to be out until April of 2026, so we've got a ways to go.
Got a ways to go. We want you to understand, we want everyone to understand your stories matter, and we want to hear them. And we want this book to feel like not just us,
Yeah.
but
Oh, yeah.
our experience of you.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel more like a mechanism to produce.
Conduit.
Yeah, then yeah, it's funky when that happens. It's pretty cool. It's like, okay, this is sort of writing itself from somewhere,
Oh yeah. Oh
kind
yeah.
of
It
thing.
feels way beyond us. Way beyond
Yeah,
us.
it
We're
is.
just the vehicles. We're just
And
the
that's
vehicles.
and that's what I have to remember too, because it's like, okay, I wanted this to be way beyond us. And then you sit down and you're like, oh my goodness, what do I write? And you're like, okay, back up a minute here. Remember, it's about everybody. So it gets confusing. So make sure if this makes you happy to chime in with us, because we are going to love the help, and we're going to love the stories that you share. And if you want to be a contributor in the book, it's going to be so much fun. Yeah.
That's going to percolate peace.
Yeah.
That's going to ripple out to neighborhoods, neighbors, communities, friends, family. If everybody did it, can you imagine
Yeah.
what a Martin Luther King would be ever so proud.
Absolutely. So, all right. So, what else have we got? We've been on here for an hour almost. That's probably good. 50 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I've had 2 hot flashes. I'm ready to take this off.
I think we've probably said enough for everyone for today then.
Super funny.
I think a hot flash is a good place to end. Uh, really, just want to say again, thank you to you, Elizabeth, to HCI for this opportunity. Can't wait to just percolate peace with a bunch of people. 1,000,000 people? Nah, no sweat. We can get 1,000,000 people to do this.
All right, everybody. All right, Katie. Love you lots.
Love you
Mwah.
too.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.